Spain and Portugal. Spain. Spain is a country in southwestern Europe with some pockets of Spanish territory across the Strait of Gibraltar and the Atlantic Ocean. Its continental European territory is situated on the Iberian Peninsula. Its territory also includes two archipelagos, the Canary Islands off the coast of Africa and the Balearic Islands in the Mediterranean Sea. The African enclaves of Ceuta, Melilla, and Peñón de Vélez de la Gomera makes Spain the only European country to have a physical border with an African country, Morocco. Several small islands in the Alboran Sea are also part of Spanish territory. I apologize for my poor pronunciation on all of those. An enclave is a territory, or a part of one, that is entirely surrounded by the territory of another state. The Canary Islands are off the coast of Africa. The Balearic Islands belong to Spain. Majorca, one of Spain's islands, is in the Mediterranean Sea. You'll see in your book that there is a map that shows Spain's territory in Africa. Melilla belongs to Spain even though it is in Africa. The government of Morocco has repeatedly called for Spain to transfer the sovereignty of Melilla to Morocco. The Spanish position states that Melilla is an integral part of Spain and has been since the 16th century. Mainland Spain is a mountainous country dominated by high plateaus and mountain chains. Spain has three main climates: a Mediterranean climate with hot, dry summers, a semi-arid climate in the southeast and other areas, and an oceanic climate where temperatures are influenced by the ocean. The coast north of the Cantabrian Island. The coast north of the Cantabrian Mountains features a humid ocean climate. The southeasternmost end of the Iberian Peninsula features an arid climate. The location of the Cantabrian mountain range, where the climate is influenced by the ocean, is noted on your book. Spain has one of the highest degrees of biodiversity among European countries. This is because of its four varied major biogeographic regions: Atlantic, Alpine, Mediterranean, and Macronesian. The country is considered to be one of the world's biodiversity hotspots. In the early modern period, Spain ruled one of the largest empires in history, which was also one of the first global empires, leaving a large cultural and linguistic legacy, making Spanish the world's second most spoken native language after Mandarin Chinese. Let's watch a history video. Well, on your book, you can watch a history video to see how Spain played a pivotal role in Europe and the world. Spanish is the official language of the entire country, but there are four other official languages: Catalan, Galicia, Basque, and Occitan. Again, I apologize for my pronunciation. Basque is spoken by an ethnic group that lives in an area known as the Basque Country, a region that is located around the western end of the Pyrenees on the coast of the Bay of Biscay and straddles parts of north-central Spain and southwestern France. An interesting thing about the Basques is that their language is unrelated to any other language in the area and has been spoken continuously locally in and around its present territorial location for longer than any modern European language. Spanish culture is marked by strong historic ties to Catholicism, which played a pivotal role in the country's formation and subsequent identity. Spanish art, architecture, cuisine, and music have been shaped by successive waves of foreign invaders, as well as by the country's Mediterranean climate and geography. You'll be able to see in your book some examples of the things Spain is most famous for. Spanish cuisine is heavily influenced by historical processes that shaped local culture and society in some of Europe's Iberian Peninsula territories. Geography and climate have a great influence on cooking methods and available ingredients. Traditional meals vary depending on the region of Spain. For example, in Andalusia, olive oil is frequently used. In Aragon, lambs are raised on the slopes of the Pyrenees Mountains, so lamb dishes are popular. In the Canary Islands, fish and potatoes are staples. Portugal. Portugal is the oldest nation-state on the Iberian Peninsula and one of the oldest in Europe, its territory having been continuously settled, invaded, and fought over since prehistoric times. Note, a nation-state is a state in which the majority shares the same culture and is conscious of it. The pre-Celtic people, the Celts and Romans, were followed by invasions of the Suebi and Visigoth Germanic people. After the Muslim conquest of the Iberian Peninsula, most of its territory was part of the Al-Andalus, the name given by the Muslims to the Iberian Peninsula during the Middle Ages. Portugal as a country was established during the early Christian Reconquista. Portugal is split by its main river, the Tagus. The northern landscape is mountainous toward the interior, with several plateaus indented by river valleys, whereas the south is characterized by rolling plains. The Azores Islands are an autonomous region of Portugal and are located in the North Atlantic Ocean. The Azores is an archipelago, or a chain of islands, composed of 9 volcanic islands. Portugal has a Mediterranean climate for the most part and receives snow regularly in the winter in the north and center of the country. In the south of the country, snowfalls are rare, but still occur at the highest elevations. Despite the fact that humans have occupied the territory of Portugal for thousands of years, something still remains of the original vegetation. Portugal is an important stopover for migratory birds in places such as Cape St. Vincent or Monchique Islands. Again, I apologize for my pronunciation. Where thousands of birds cross from Europe to Africa during the autumn and the spring during return migration. Serra de Monchique is one of the 2 mountain regions of Algarve, the southernmost part of Portugal. Some things Portugal is known for include the rooster of Barcelonas, a common symbol, and is from a folk tale about a rooster who saved an innocent man sentenced to death. It is often sold as a souvenir. Fatima. Portugal is famous for the 3 children who say the Virgin Mary divulged secrets to them. Portugal has areas that have their own traditional clothes, such as the women from Minho. Vasco da Gama was a Portuguese explorer and the first European to reach India by the ocean. Portuguese cuisine is very diverse. The Portuguese consume a lot of dry cod and other fish recipes. The country has Europe's highest fish consumption per capita. Cod is almost always used dried and salted because the Portuguese fishing tradition in the North Atlantic developed before the invention of refrigeration. Therefore, it needs to be soaked in water and sometimes milk before cooking. Olive oil is one of the bases of Portuguese cuisine, which is used both for cooking and flavoring meals. Many words like marmalade, caramel, molasses, and sugar have Portuguese origins. Key takeaways. Spain owns territories off the coast of Africa and touching the African country of Morocco. Spain ruled one of the largest empires in history, and Spanish is the world's 2nd most spoken native language. Spanish culture is marked by strong historic ties to Catholicism. Portugal is the oldest nation-state on the Iberian Peninsula.